beautiful, welcome back. My name is Mide if you're new here. So MICROLOCS beginner mistakes to avoid. Either you are going to be using a loctician or you are going to installing your Locs yourself. There are a couple of things that you will want to put into consideration before you embark on this journey. Believe me, one or two people out there have one or two things that they wish they had known or they have done, things that if you don't think about, carry out your research, ask questions, do a couple of things to be certain that what you're about to do, okay, is what you want to do and it is exactly how you want it to be. Of course, I do have my regrets too. Okay, one of the regrets that most people have when it comes to MICROLOCS is greed. Okay, you need to know how important greed is to you. You need to know how attractive you are to it and what it entails to establish grid on your Locs. The first thing that you want to do, let's assume that you need to consult a loctician, that you don't want to install your Locs yourself, then you definitely want to make sure that you ask a couple of questions. Okay, for questions to ask your loctician, I have a video somewhere here that is going to inform you on the kind of questions that you should ask your loctician. Okay, you want to make sure that you know the subsequent maintenance of your Locs, how often you are going to be retiring. This will be determined based on the type of hair that you have. You know what it costs to install your Locs, what it costs to retire your Loc, because there are some people that all they care about is the cost of installation, and then subsequently when it's time to retire the Locs, they find out that it's actually higher than what they expected. So you want to make sure that you know this, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Another thing is that if your loctician wants to do a consultation, which most of them do, please do a consultation. It's going to be for your own good and actually for both of you, so that you all know what to expect after the installation of the Locs. So it is not a trickish thing. It is not as if anybody is going to dupe you or whatsoever. It's a way of profiling your hair and knowing what method of interlocking or whatsoever that is going to be suitable for your type of hair. Okay, the next thing is for you to be sure the number of Locs that you are going to be carrying. Okay, the number of Locs that you are going to be able to afford, and I mean afford in terms of maintenance, in terms of money, you know, the cost and the time that you are going to be spending maintaining the Locs. When it comes to Starterlocs, you really cannot determine the number by yourself, because Starterlocs has established size that they use. They cannot go below a particular size. Okay, so usually depending on the density of your hair, Starterlocs might be too tiny for you to maintain or not. So you need to find out about that. Then if it is going to be MICROLOCS, not Starterlocs, then of course you have the options of determining the number of Locs that you want to carry, the number of Locs that you'll be able to retire. You'll be able to sit down for them to retire for you, the number of Locs that is not going to waste your time, and the number of Locs that you'll be able to afford subsequently, because you need to find out that the cost of maintenance is something that you can afford indefinitely. Okay, anything can change for anybody, but as at the time that you're about to install your MICROLOCS, you want to make sure that the amount that is being drafted for you is something that you can afford for a while. Okay, if not indefinitely. Based on your hair type, find out how far you can go in between retire. Okay, the type of hair will determine how far you can go. If you have this soft fine texture hair that is not so full, you might not be able to go for a long time. Okay, but if you have thick, coarse and dense hair type, then you will be able to do that as long as your hair does not grow out of your Loc. These are the things that you need to find out in order for you to have a proper maintenance of your Loc, which is going to give you beautiful Locs at the end of the day. So next one is going to be for those that want to install the locks by themselves, which is known as DIY micro locks. The first thing I want to talk about is the number of locks that you want to be installing on your locks. You have to make sure that whatever the number of locks that you want to install, it is something that you'll be able to maintain for a long time, because I've seen some people that eventually combined their locks just because it was becoming too tasky or stressful for them to retire or for them to maintain the locks. Okay, and then another thing you want to find out is you have to be sure of the method you want to start with. Okay, this will also depend on your type of locks, whether your lock is long, whether it is short. There are so many starter locks. Okay, we have braid locks, 2 strands twist starter lock, finger coils, comb coils. The starter lock for DIY micro locks is usually 2 strand twist and braid locks. Okay, you want to make sure that it is exactly braid lock that you want, or else it is something that you might want to take out at the end of the day, and you want to make sure that it is exactly 2 strand twist that is going to be suitable for you. The one that you choose, I'm sure that they are both beautiful, they are both simple and convenient to install, but you also want to be sure that it is what you want. Okay, because there was a particular time I was thinking, oh, maybe I should have started with braid lock, but then I don't want to lose my lock again, so I stuck with 2 strand twist that I started with. Okay, and then another thing that you want to make sure to avoid is whether you want to be starting with short hair. There are so many advantages when you start with short hair. I have a video somewhere also that talked about that. Okay, but if you have short hair but you don't want to start with short hair, you can as well go for lock extension. Okay, lock extension can also be started with braiding, and it can be started with 2 strand twist. This is just to ensure, like, if I had known, one of the things that I regretted is that, oh, I had this option of doing this and I didn't know, I was not aware of it. So you want to make sure that you have that option on ground and you make use of it as much as you want. Then another thing to avoid when you're starting out is that product that you are going to be using on your hair after locking it is going to be different from the products that you were using on your loose natural. Okay, there are some shampoo that you cannot use. The type of shampoo that is advisable for you to use on your locks are known to be clarifying shampoo, and they are clear, they are not milky. Anything that you cannot see through, you don't want to use that. Okay, and then you want to make sure that conditioning your lock at early stage is not going to be of advantage to you. You will need to wait till the hair starts to lock up before you can use the conditioner that is suitable for locks. Okay, and then another thing is that any type of oil that you want to use on your scalp, make sure it is the type that is suitable for your scalp. Okay, you want to find out which is suitable for you and use it accordingly. There are so many oil out there. We have the olive oil, we have coconut oil, we have argan oil, we have castor oil, and so on and so forth. Okay, another thing that you want to make sure that you avoid is impatience. Installing lock is a journey, and it is a journey that you want to be patient with, because you have all these stages of lock that you want to make sure that you get to accordingly. Okay, one of the stages of lock is the stage where you have frizz all over your hair. Some people believe this stage to be the ugly stage, but I'm assuring you that it is not an ugly stage. It is a necessary stage for you to get to, for your hair to lock. Okay, you eventually get used to it and you will find a way to manage your hair and your look around that. Okay, another thing that you want to make sure that you avoid is lint. Lint is a menace. Okay, when it comes to your lock, you don't want lint on your hair. Lint could be gotten from the environment, it could be gotten from the clothing that you wear, it could be gotten from your beddings. If you're not that careful of lint, it might end up being a build-up on your locks, and you don't want build-up on your locks. Build-up is ugly. Build-up is not healthy. Build-up is not good for your scalp, neither is it good for your locks. It's going to make your locks to appear unpleasant, unattractive. These are the things that you want to make sure that you avoid. Look out for them. All right. Okay, so guys, thank you for tuning in once again. I hope that you have been able to grab one or two things from today's video, things to avoid before you lock your hair. All right, so take care guys, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.